right, welcome everybody to round one. Looks like we're having a slight issue with jolterz's hand cam, so I'm going to hide that hand cam. We won't have hand cams for this one, but that's okay. We can still see noverb's side. So here we are. Look at this opening hand from noverb. We've got Huru Blueprints, 2 copies of Ursa Squadron, an Orange Jailer, and a Valise, and a Huru Blueprint. Seems like a pretty good starting hand.
Yeah, this is what you want out of soldiers. The only thing better would be one of the squadrons being a Daru Lee, but other than that, it's good power, good cards. Ursa Squadron is a really great unit in a format without a lot of removal because you can't block it that profitably. Vinegrafter, known for being this amazing blocker, can't block Ursa Squadron.
Yeah.
Or there's no Vinegrafters here, but just like
Right.
in the format as a whole, it's
No, absolutely. It is good for that. Big in the format for sure. But jolterz playing on Iron Priestess and kind of same thing. Can't block here either.
Yeah, I think this matchup is going to be a bit of a race.
Yeah.
Neither of these decks really has the tools to go over the other, which you see as a common tactic in aggro mirrors. So, like, Nova can stun some of jolterz's units, but really, there's not going to be a lot of blocking.
Yeah, this is not going to be a lot of blocking for jolterz. Here we see the new one, though, Gem Blazer Cannon. So for those of you who have not seen that one, it's a 3-power, 3/3 weapon. When the wielder attacks, Gem Blazer Cannon heats up. If it was already heated, it gets +3 and overwhelmed this turn, then cools down. So you sort of get that advantage. It heats up first, it's heating up, and then cools down after that. So one attack in, but it still gets the +3/+3 either way. So that makes that really hard to block. All right, but noverb also attacking pretty hard here right back.
Valise is a unit that went a little under the radar at the beginning, but it's great at pushing through damage. It's a good rate of 4/4/4/4, and then it has an immediate impact that can also dig you into what you need.
Yeah, so Valise reads it's a 4/4/4. When you attack with exactly 2 units, they get +1/+1 and overwhelm this turn. And that overwhelm we've seen already be very relevant in when we've seen Valise play. And then also draw a card and discard a card. Go ahead and loot with that too. So pretty powerful effect on that 4-drop body.
One interesting thing here is Noverb discarded the Huru painting, which means he won't have 5 justice for Valise, which might be, I can see that being the right line because paintings are really slow and maybe using the rune is going to be more effective. And he's saying, I'll eventually draw into another J source. But
Right.
he's essentially giving up playing Argo this next turn.
You just saw that Iron Priestess with the Gem Blazer Cannon heated up there, got that big bust, got that big boost, and we got a second one. MLNTN, thank you so much for the 3-month resub. We really appreciate that. Thank you for being here. And the Janitor Dovid the First, pretty pumped up here. A 6/6 version of Janitor Dovid. You thought a 4/4 for 2 was good. How about a 6/6 for 2? Pumped up courtesy of that War Cry. Another big unit. But jolterz is hitting pretty hard. How about a chill there? That's going to stun that Iron Priestess. Going to buy noverb a little bit of time.
Probably going to discard the Squadron here. Oh. Valise. Huh. I guess the
Hey.
Squadron can be a chump blocker is the logic there, and the Valise is just more expensive.
Yeah, this next turn is looking pretty good. These are all soldiers out here. So this Argo Ironthorn, if we can get a second justice off the top for noverb, that can be lights out. But no second justice right now. So as of right now, just more big bodies coming down. What's up, Fast Cookie? Thank you so much for the bits. Much appreciated.
Although even if jolterz just discards twice, I think this is still lethal because that's 5 against 12 overwhelm.
Mm-hmm. True, it might be just right out just from attacks because these get +1/+1 and overwhelm. That would be that's 9, 10, 11, right? 11 minus 5, yeah. Should be enough.
Well, there's the J if it wasn't enough.
Yep. That's true. All right, so noverb though attacking in 412. Jolterz tapped out, nothing they can do here. So this looks like this is going to go game one. Ultimate Gandalf, welcome. Glad first time viewer. This is Expedition tonight. So this is a full Expedition tournament. Thanks for being here. Feel free to ask any questions in chat. You are just in time too, because this is round one. All right, and there we go. Noverb going to go ahead and take it with that attack. As you mentioned, that was just enough. So Noverb going to go ahead and take the first game. Let's check out the deck list here. Let's update this with Noverb's deck list. And check out this Huru Soldiers build. Anything stand out to you here, Boxer?
So the big thing that stands out is the 2 copies of Obstructive Flicker. We started seeing this card, pop up a few copies in more defensive decks because people realized how versatile it is, and now we're seeing it show up in more aggressive ones just because of, like, in decks that used to play Swift Refusal, you can now play Flicker, and you wouldn't think the 1 damage to everything would come up a lot, and it doesn't, but just being a better Obstructive Flicker is important when there are decks trying to play Cover from the Storm and Fall to Ruin. It's not as relevant in this matchup. What's relevant in this matchup is Noverb has relatively bigger units. Perma is a clean answer to just about anything. Manacles is also, like, it's just going to be a 2-for-1. And it's likely going to be up on power. You're spending 3 to probably deal with at least 3 power, sometimes 4 or 5.
All right, our players are good to go. Let's see. It looks like Jolterz is going to be on the play for this game too, so let's head down and see if we can pull out this one. All right, Noverb up 1 game over Jolterz, but Jolterz on the play here for game 2. Noverb keeping 3 power, Hidden Crusader, Valise, Uru Blueprints, and Ursa Squadron. So 2, 3, 4, nice little curve, plus 4 power.
This is a game where a Gem Blazer cannon could really put Jolterz ahead. There's no perma, no manacles.
Yeah, we saw how scary those cannons could have been last game, but Noverb had the stuns, so was able to survive that. But it was a lot of damage coming through fast. And kind of forced Noverb to answer it. But starting off with a Privilege of Rank. That's going to get a pair of Awaken. So with that Awakening, going to get a pair of 1/1 with Valley. That's pretty good. Turn 1, discard a card, but you discard Privilege of Rank. Pretty nice.
Grenadine Drone that can attack through 2/2s.
Yeah.
Is a good start.
There's the Manacles draw for Noverb. So one of the things you pointed out what would help Jolterz is missing that, but Noverb's got it now.
They can also just sneak through if they... Oh, okay, there's a Dove at that.
There you go. That blocks pretty well. And Malentien says, I've heard exactly what 2 units can call it tandem, but we call it the buddy system. I like that. Just God forbid that we call it tango, because I heard people don't like when we call it the tango system.
People did not like that naming for the lands.
Not quite. Yeah, big draws here for Noverb. Drawing that Manacles last turn is a pretty good one. Drawing this Dovid here is a pretty good one. So nice hand developing here for Noverb. Jolterz had a really good start, though. That's a great one, too. Unfortunately, a 4/4 Dovid is a good blocker, a good stop sign for that.
Yeah, like a cannon could get through, but Jolterz doesn't really have any tricks in their deck. So, like, they can attack in with the Priestess and then play an auto tread and discard 2 things.
Oh, and the Dovid drew a Daruli also. Brutal. That's pretty good. The real question is whether Dovid drew the Amplify or the Soldier part of Daruli. That's what I'm wondering.
I'd expect noverb to just play out the I don't know. I guess the Crusader doesn't do a ton here. It blocks the Awakened, doesn't block the 2/2. I don't think noverb needs to be attacking.
Hmm.
They have the
Now,
tools to play.
did jolterz just pass? Jolterz pass back pretty quickly, which either usually means, hey, I've got some sort of fast spell, or it looks like they just have 3 Justins. They could just have 4 fire cards in hand. So I don't know if you're a noverb seed. Are you reading into that at all?
Uh, if noverb knows the deck list well, that should say jolterz had 0 cards they wanted to play because there are no fast spells in their deck.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. No fast spells. That's one advantage of open deck list. You glance over there and you say no fast spells. That means Jolterz's hand is not something that they can play out very effectively. So, yeah, Noverb coming away with this one. Jolterz had that quick 1-2, but things are quickly turning here. Noverb attacking for 8 overwhelm here, getting a 2/2 weapon as well.
Could see the 2/2 and the other 2/2 on the 3/4. Jolterz's should know there's only one stealth unit in noverb's deck.
Yeah, when you're playing with a stealth format, it's really important to have open deck lists and understand what your opponent's running, so you don't mess up blocks here that are, essentially played face up. I mean, it's still face down for the other player, but when looking at the deck list, it's essentially face up most of the time.
Yeah, I don't understand the 1/1s there. Because now noverb can eat the 2/2 awaken soldier and the 1/1 awaken. Oh, or
Can I eat the 2/1/1s instead? Okay. And then the Dovid's going to get in for 5, put Jolterz down, but is going to draw a card off of that. It's just Overgrowth, another nice draw for Noverb. See if Jolterz can get some fire or something that they can cast. No, just going to pass it back.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, stuck at 4, just 4 justice.
that technique is a big draw because it can let noverb life total enough that it prevents, cannon shenanigans from
Mm-hmm.
letting jolters win when they're behind on board because like a stone hammer into multiple cannons is how Nova was potentially losing this, but now they pretty much have it locked up. I wouldn't be shocked to see a technique here. Well, I guess they don't have any reason to.
Yeah. Keep developing out here. Important to remember that Argos technique is also give a soldier +2/+2. Dovid is not a soldier, something that I'm sure many of us have messed up in the past. So always important to check when you're playing out technique and doing math. Always important to check which ones are soldiers. Dovid is not. The other 2 are.
There's always that awkward pause when you're playing soldiers and you made an attack thinking, this is brilliant, I have the trick.
Yep.
And then you realize Dovid's not a soldier, and you just pause because, you can't make the play, and you're trying to run through what good options you have, and you just don't have any.
Yeah. Although it's also great on the other side of things when your opponent attacks in and you set up the block knowing that, and you just see the shatter pause where they wait for 5 minutes, and you're like, yep, not a soldier. Jolterz going to play out Auto Tread here with 2 power available. If Jolterz wanted to, they could pick off this Valise, or at least attempt to pick off the Valise. Obviously, we know that Noverb has the Argos technique, but that would be quite a blowout if they went for it.
This perma is especially brutal, or not or manacles. Well, Jolters is going to break it, but
Yeah.
if you stun the awakened soldier, recruitment effort doesn't give them any tangible advantage. It just keeps buffing the stunned soldier.
So yeah, Jolterz is just gonna kill off their own Iron Priestess to block it, to open up the block here and save one of their units. But I wonder if it's too little too late, because Noverb has really developed, has kept hitting their power every turn as well, and has the board advantage. So here comes Orange Jailer. We're gonna play a Detain -6. Matches up well against a 6/6.
If I were Noverb, I would have been looking for lethal here. I think an overgrowth on the auto tread, plus playing the weapon, plus maybe playing the technique. Uh, oh, okay. The least buffs the awakened soldier. That's an interesting interaction. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
Makes me like recruitment effort even more. It's either player discards a
Yeah.
card for the first time in a turn. So whenever Valise attacks, it triggers.
Yeah. That's a good call. Interesting interaction there.
Maybe Noverb knew about that, and that's why they were. That would explain their plays when I was thinking, oh, why aren't they going for lethal? But uh, yeah, it's an unintuitive interaction that hopefully people, I guess, writing stuff down is not something you do anymore with technology. But like, take a mental note about that interaction
Yeah.
because I could see it coming up a lot.
Absolutely. Well, noverb actually drew a second copy of Vicious Overgrowth, and Vicious Overgrowths can go face. So even though noverb has this huge board advantage, jolterz is at 5 with presumably no way to gain health. So if it even comes down to it, noverb can just fire off these two Vicious Overgrowths at face. Unfortunately, they're mismatched, but you know that's okay. What are you gonna do? I mean, they're uncommons, noverb. Come on, different shades of blue. Yeah, gonna discard with the auto tread to pick off the Darali, but that's not going to be enough. Noverb's going to have this right here on the next turn. No way for jolterz to put through damage, I don't think. Not at 24.
No, even if Noverb said no blocks, it would be 20.
Yeah.
Wait, no, not 20. 18.
All right, here we're going to see it. Vicious Overgrowth number 1. That's going to deal 3. Vicious Overgrowth number 2. And that's going to be it. Congratulations, Noverb, on taking that quick 2-0 over jolterz. Unfortunately, jolterz, I think, had a little bit of a slow start there with their draw in that second game, but well played by Noverb on taking that